Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday, the 12th of March at about 10 to 4. The American market we're looking at declines slightly ahead of advances, and the color guard advising caution. The short-term trend is up. The medium-term trend, the DEW, is up, and the underlying trend is up, but the major measure of the trend on VectorVest in the American market still down. We've had a very good few days, however, and if I go to the VectorVest composite of the US, you can see those from that huge reversal that we had pretty much this time last week on last Friday, that lovely pin bar or hammer candle pattern, and we've had this follow through all week. So where are we now? Well, I think that on the composite, which is a very broad measure of the American market, all 8,000 shares that we follow, as you would expect, it's finding some form of resistance right at that 78% retracement. So it needs to get its it needs to break that level, and it's going to take a little bit of energy to do that. Whether there's enough energy in the market to do that on a Friday, we shall see. If we now look at my viewers and pull up the S&P, the S&P is off a little bit today. It was off much worse on the futures market earlier on, but it's opened up within yesterday's range. And as you can see, the S&P 500 stronger. The Dow even stronger than the S&P 500, and it stopped at this old high at about 3950. And that's where it got to, slightly above that last night. Needs to get above that level. I think that everything's in place for that to happen. Maybe not today, but everything's in place for that to happen. I've taken a couple of small positions in the US market. Apps I got in a couple of days ago, Microsoft, and what I think has to be called a punt on PLTR, and those positions are all slightly in the money. I won't do anything more today, and just probably we should have a quick look at these. If we chart them, there we go. If we chart them, the volatility in apps is incredible, isn't it? As you can see, it came back to that last old top, moved up, couldn't close up there, and then it pulled back to, guess what, that 78% retracement, and is now pushing up strongly again. Again, it needs to get through this level. I'm going to give it as much time as I can muster to let that happen. That inside day at the 78% level, or that Harami pattern, was a real good heads up to that. So let's see if we can get through this level, yesterday's high. That's Microsoft. Microsoft opened down a little bit this morning, but maybe a little bit worrying. Again, it's a textbook spring pattern. That's the S&P. We've just come from there, and this is PLTR. Really, when I see a market coming down and taking out these lows and then rapidly reversing, it's worth a go. Certainly the fundamental position on VectorVest is awful, and the trend doesn't look too clever to me at the minute, but that's a really good example of what Mr. Gann would have called a lost motion setup. So let's give it a little bit of time. In the UK, well, the last time I looked, 10 minutes ago, the FTSE was up 20 or 30 points on the day. The technical situation as we finished Thursday evening's trading, the 11th of March, color guard is bullish. VectorVest advocates buying safe undervalued stocks that are rising in price at this time. So all of the measures of the trend on VectorVest are up, and I'm reasonably happy. In a video I did a couple of days ago, clearly there's some of these shares that have been in a range for a while. Although I'm well up in the shares, they've been in a range for a very long time. The one share that I'm very happy with now is this GYS.L. Broke up very, very nicely yesterday, and it's probably got a lot of legs in it yet. And as you can see, it's finally got the energy to break right through these tops, holding the share through these down swings. And if we put the valuation on VectorVest up, it's valued at 21, it's trading at 15, so it's got a lot of room, and a textbook cup and handle pattern. And I was alerted to that by one of our subscribers, so thank you very much for that. Looks to me as if this got 18 at least written all over it. Sylvania has been great. It's pulled back a little bit, but hardly surprising. It's a long way north of the 55-day moving average, which is sort of a baseline support in an up market. Bellway starting to break up very nicely, as are most of the large building stocks. Italian mining, well, with copper it came back a little bit, well, quite a bit in fact. I'm holding this and it's come back to this trend line. Had a really good day yesterday as it bounced off that trend line. We see that better on the 6-month chart, so that looks quite promising. Clearly the shares, the one share that I'm holding, which is on sell recommendation, is Poly.L, and I'm giving that the benefit of the doubt for the moment, as gold sits around that $1,700 level. The results of Poly.L the other day were absolutely marvelous, and at 1,700 it's going to make a great deal of money. Nevertheless, the share has drifted downwards as the gold price has gone downwards. So I think that if that gold price can hang in there, and my support level 1695, then I think that we'll see a very strong advance in gold stocks. Nevertheless, you shouldn't be going anywhere near gold stocks unless you've got a trading mentality. As traders, we're looking to get in at a point where the capital exposure is minimal with a great deal of upside, and that's what I see in gold at the moment. I call it a low risk trade. It's not a low risk trade because it's got a high hit rate. It's a low risk trade because you don't need much money to actually test whether your trading idea is going to work or not. So UK market looks great, folks. I have about 30% sitting in cash in my UK portfolio, and I'm going to try and put that to work next week. Very happy to report that Games Workshop would seem to have really made a nice bottom. I thought we were going to get stopped out of that at £90 a couple of days ago, but it seems to come up very nicely from that. And GB Group going well, and Halma, that pulled back strongly in the sell-off, seems to have found a major support level and is now moving up nicely as well. So reasonably happy with that, and I'll discuss these shares in detail at our Q&A session on Monday afternoon for the VectorVest subscribers. Any of you that are not a VectorVest subscriber, if you would like to come along, david.paul@vectorvest.com, and I'll send you off an invite. Thanks very much, folks. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all Monday afternoon. Bye bye.